Welcome back to the Mail-In Podcast. Happy Thursday to those listening out there. I am your host, Brett Merriman. In front of me, Sally deFries is back in the building. What's going on, Sally?
The Happy Thursday threw me off.
I know. I'm sorry. We're doing this like pre-Thursday.
Right.
So
We're recording Wednesday, but it comes out on Thursday.
that's correct.
Right.
Yeah. How are you?
Thursday. I'm doing great.
Let's
this
go.
Thursday is great.
Thursday's great so
We're
far.
in the future now.
We are talking from the future. Exactly. We're speaking about the future.
Yeah, it's a nice, crisp day in Austin.
The first one.
A cool 84
A cool 84. But this morning,
was nice.
like my walk to the gym this morning, a little crispy at like 7. I was loving it.
This is where Austin gets into the weather territory of like, oh, I might put a sweatshirt on, a little sweater.
And
then it gets really hot in the afternoon, and then you're like, why did I do this to myself?
Sally,
Should have worn shorts from the get-go.
I was so H for fall weather that I did it yesterday. I wore a sweater and pants yesterday.
You're going to start wearing your boots like right now. I can already tell.
I know.
And it's too hot for that.
It is.
Still.
It totally is. But I did it yesterday just anticipating the cold front. That's how much I wanted it.
Do we call this a cold front though? If the high is 84?
I think it's a cold front
It's a
because
cool front?
it's a cool front.
The high the other day was like 96.
Yeah. I wonder. I think it has more to do with the low temperature to me, and the dryness of the air.
I'm going to start getting excited when like our cold front, like we hit like the 50s in the morning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's going to be big time.
That's the issue if you live in the South
Mm-hmm.
with fall, is like everyone's starting to like wear chunky sweaters. And
I know.
That's not even in your game plan for like 3 more months.
Literally till the end of November. You're not really sweater weather.
I just realized our coffee table is right there.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
We keep like cleaning out our apartment, and every time we like do something, Will's like, I'm just gonna take that to the office. Like, I think those are our bar stools over there.
Yep. Those are the bar
And
stools.
then like our old dining room tables in the front.
Yep. This is becoming the deFries residence very quickly.
Correct. Okay.
But the new place looks awesome. How is Will's his project going in the front room?
He like cleaned up the front room to make it into an office.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's not like, I think in a dream scenario we like scrap everything in there and then like get all new stuff, but that's not really like in our budget or wheelhouse right now. So we just moved some things around. It's a little more spacious. He's got a desk in there now, but it's a good working situation for him.
Okay. He
tweaked his back doing it.
I've heard that the back has been an issue the last couple of days.
And it's all I hear about, Brett.
He likes to talk about it. I don't blame him. I'm also in pain. I mentioned the gym thing. I work out, Randy. I'm on a new program. Anytime you get into a new program, I'm using a sponsor of a podcast, FitBod, which is basically teaching me my own program.
Are you that type of store where you like can't sit down without like having to like really groan to get back up?
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Absolutely. I can't walk. Like stairs are out of the question right now, which is unfortunate because my apartment is on the 3rd floor.
Have you been stretching?
No, not at all.
You got to stretch.
I need to stretch and foam roll like the heck out of myself right now. But I'm at the point where there's so much lactic acid in my legs. I'm radioactive.
I'm going to tell you what an anatomy professor told me one time.
That lactic acid's a myth?
No, not that.
I've heard that.
It was actually the anatomist who ran our anatomy lab in grad school when we were like doing cadaver stuff.
Dude just buys cadavers on the reg.
She was a woman. She said to me, if people could see the results of their muscles from stretching versus not stretching, people would stretch every day.
Oh God.
But you don't see it because
they're in your body.
They're in your body and covered by skin. So that and it kind of goes back to like our whole sunscreen talk, like you don't, unless you get sunburned, you're not like seeing the effect of
skin damage from the sun.
Right. Until you have like a giant mole or you're sunburned or whatever. So stretching, important. And also in that same vein, using vitamin C on your face.
Really?
Your skincare routine. Mm-hmm.
Like not consuming it, but applying it.
On your face, yeah.
How does one do that?
Like a vitamin C serum.
Oh. Okay. I think that's new to me. And
So,
Caroline's very big into the skincare game.
well, girls probably already know all of this
Oh, okay.
because we're women. But like guys are really bad about skincare, and I always have to like get on to Will about it. But it's super easy. Just any vitamin C serum would be great, but just read your labels. The best out there
Okay.
is super expensive. It's by SkinCeuticals. It's called CE Ferulic. And they did like a thing. So you can't like, if you're using it, you're not like, wow, my skin's so supple. Like it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's preventing damage. The same way of like stretching is preventing you from having soreness.
Okay.
But it's like a prophylactic thing. So we need to be doing all these things ahead of time.
Got it.
Not like.
No, it's not reactive. It's proactive.
Correct.
Interesting. Okay.
That's the health minute with Sally.
That's the health minute with Sally. I need to go home and stretch.
20 minutes.
Oh, a good stretch. I might even after this podcast is over, I'm going to get on the floor
I'm
and
horrible
stretch.
about it.
That's why Tom Brady is still Tom Brady. I
Right.
think. He does stretching and plyos like more than he works out.
Right. I mean, my thing with stretching, and I think probably people who used to like do gymnastics and stuff can relate to this.
Mm-hmm.
I was so flexible when I was younger. So now I like stretch for like 1 minute and I'm like pissed that I can't still do the splits.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I'm like, I'm giving up. I'm not doing this anymore. And that is wrong.
You're a fan of performative stretching.
Right. I'm like, I hate this. And why I'm not seeing results immediately. But you're really not meant to.
What's your favorite stretch?
I just love like sitting down, putting your legs out to the side, and just like, going.
Starfishes?
Yeah. And just like going side to side, like going to the middle. I used to like literally be able to like put my legs out and like stick my chest on the ground.
That's wild.
And
that's
now
next level flexible.
Literally, like if I sit down and like put my legs out, like spread my legs, that hurts my hamstrings. Like I can't,
nope.
Not even like bending over, just like sitting like that.
I can't even do that. I couldn't even get like my range of motion is probably 170 degrees, like 60 degrees. I get nowhere near perpendicular.
I used to be able to like put my chest on the ground, like walk through my legs.
Oh my God. Like the Ring?
Yeah.
Ugh. That's like a demon character.
Yeah.
That's why. Ugh. That's wild.
And now, like, I think if I bent over, I could touch my toes.
Yeah.
And like the ground
I still got that.
Bend my knees.
I got that in the bag still. My favorite is Caroline turning me on to the downward dog position, like the little yoga situation. That feels so good.
Yeah.
To just like arms out and like lean back into your hips. It stretches everything.
Yeah.
And that's like not in the football stretching playbook. We're the ones where it's just like, like cobras or put your leg over your other leg and twist and then you're good. Yeah, go play football. Like that's what we did.
Yeah, no, you gotta like devote time.
Okay.
Everyone should stretch. Everyone should use vitamin C.
That's the stretching 5 minutes with Sally and Brett. Get vitamin C. I'm gonna have to ask you about that because I do a moisturizer and I do the caffeine under your eyes, and that's the extent.
You got to be careful with what you're putting on your face because here's the thing: I can like say that, and then someone's gonna be like, "Okay, I'm gonna go like get the highest value vitamin C that I can put on my face on Amazon." You and I probably have sensitive skin. Like,
sure do.
I mean, I know I do, but looking at you. So you can't just like go like start slapping shit on. You got to like do your research.
Interesting. Okay. Is there stuff that sensitive skin people like you and I have to be careful of? Like what should I be looking out for?
I mean, I'm not a dermatologist or like any sort of esthetician, but I don't know. I mean,
okay, I will ask my in-house esthetician.
Yeah, exactly. Ask Caroline. Maybe we need Caroline on for a skin minute.
We do. We should do the health and skin minute with you and Caroline.
Yeah.
And I'll just like
she probably knows way more than I do.
I'll send super ignorant questions to the both of you guys, and you guys can just rip through them.
But the best thing is like use the resources you have at your disposal. Like
okay, like that. That's fair. Yeah, you may be wondering. What is the mail-in podcast 10 minutes in? Well, we do our best to answer your questions, like the ones you have about skin and your face and and sunscreen.
Don't send me photos of your skin ailments and then ask me to
Ooh.
diagnose it. I don't know.
You may run into situations with your skin in your 20s or 30s that Sally can help you out with.
No.
Get a laugh in and maybe walk away with something useful. How can you help us out? Tell a friend about the podcast. It's one of the easier ways to get into Washed Media because it's just answering questions. It's simple as that. Send them a clip or a segment that makes sense for their situation. Hit subscribe on iTunes and follow on Spotify. Call into the hotline number, 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at MailIn Podcast. Sally, are you ready to jump into the questions?
I'm ready.
Hey, guys. How long do you wait before asking for a day off at a new job? I've been working at a smaller construction company as an assistant project manager for 6 months, and I want to plan a long weekend trip, Friday through Sunday. Is 6 months long enough at a company to ask for a day off?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Simple as that, right? Because I understand the first 2 weeks, you don't want to ask for, hey, in a month, I got this trip planned. In the first probably 3 or 4 months, I'm utilizing the weekends that are already long, like Labor Day, like, not trying to ruffle feathers. Hey, can I take half day Thursday, full day Friday for a bachelor party? Probably not doing that. But I'm also at 6 months, very, very comfortable.
Yes.
I know it's probably different in the health world.
I think it totally depends on a lot of factors. I guess probably what sector you're in, what, like, how big the company is, how much experience you have, how valued you are. Hopefully you're at a job where you're valued. I think 6 months is totally fine. Honestly, there's instances where, like, you're going to get hired and like, I'm in a wedding.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to go, or like, it's my grandpa's 80th birthday. I have to, like, I don't even think that that's wrong to bring up, like, in the interview. Like,
that's what I did with Washed.
Right.
I was like, hey, my buddy's getting married in like September. I have to go to this, but it's like 2 weeks into my employment.
I mean, hopefully, the situation you're up against whenever you do something like that. Like, if you're one of 20 applicants and you're like running in guns blazing, being like, I'm not going to be here for a week in the first month.
That's tricky territory.
They're like,
okay.
But like, if this is like your third job and you're getting recruited, like, you are able to know your worth. Be like, cool, glad to take this job, but just FYI, I've got to do this.
Yeah, but in most, I'd argue almost all scenarios, 6 months is probably safe. To ask
I think
for
6 months is safe.
A Friday. You're not asking for 2 weeks. You're asking for a Friday. Like,
well,
I think that's...
This came up actually recently because my brother started a new job in June, and we are going on a family vacation in January.
Yep.
Like, we normally take during Christmas, but aren't this year. And so I was like, you're going to be 6 months out, but you should tell them now instead of like waiting until December to be like, hey, by the way, I'm taking a week. Like, you're probably fine, but like, the more notice, the better. Like,
totally.
They're not going to like fire you after hiring you for being like, I have to take a vacation.
Yeah, arguably you're in the best spot to say that.
Right.
Like, right after you got hired, because your job performance isn't in consideration yet, right?
Yeah, and like, this guy, I think 6 months in and you're taking 1 day is totally acceptable.
Totally. I know
And there are
construction's
people-
probably like,
Yeah.
forgive me here, Sally, but like a construction business, you're probably going to get flack for taking a day off your first 3 years on the job, right?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of get that. It's like the locker room mentality. But
I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming. In healthcare, it just, like, I don't think anybody's going to be like, you're taking a day off.
yeah,
Because honestly, I think like, when you work at a hospital, all they want is like notice so that they have an extra person there.
Yeah.
And if you have the PTO, and like, the way that we do it is like, if there is available PTO to be taken, then like, they don't give a shit,
nice. Okay.
Obviously that changes when you're in a more traditional job, like in an office, or like you have a project due or whatever, and they like are counting on you.
Yeah.
But there's all these studies coming out now that like really, like, the U.S. out of any country, like, we do not value people's like work-life balance
At
very
all.
well. And
At all.
I think that our generation needs to be the generation that like stands up and is like, I have to maintain my life. Like,
Yeah. And I think a lot of companies that are built in a more contemporary, like kind of figuring out the work-life balance stuff, I think we're getting there.
Right.
You know, like I feel like that is, you're going to see the 4-day work week become much more popular.
Right.
You're going to see the 2-week summer vacation become popular. That's like go. Nobody's in the office. It's not just one person taking off. Like in Europe,
well,
people
I think
just
I have
don't
friends
work
who
for
are like
2
in
months.
trading and stuff, and they're like forced to take 2 weeks off, or like 21 days, or however long it is. And so like you have to go take time off.
Yeah.
To like recharge.
It's crazy how, and I think COVID probably accelerated some of the work. Like,
well, it like
things.
helped in the sense that people realized like, oh, they can do their jobs from home. But then in this other sense that now you don't have that, everything's become blurred. So you're at home and still working, and then that's not healthy either.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So like that's, I mean, I think that's probably especially hard for y'all. Like I have to tell Will, like, okay, especially now that we have a kid, I'm like, you come home, no work shit after 6 p.m. unless it's like an emergency. But like you're done.
Yeah. I still have a problem with that. I'll be on my laptop till 11.
And Will has a problem with that. That's why we have to like talk about it. I'm like, well, you can't. No, you've got to deal with that tomorrow. It's not, you know.
Yeah.
And that's one nice thing about healthcare is like you leave, your day is over.
Done.
You're not like having to finish a project, or at least in my field, like being at the hospital. Like you're done, your day's over. That's done with.
Sure.
But yeah, I think 6 months is fine. And like, you know, everyone knows their own situation. Like, I think 6 months is fine if you have a good relationship with your boss. Give him a couple weeks heads up. Like, hey, I would like to take this Friday off to do something, whatever. But obviously don't roll in and be like, day one on the job, be like, I have a month-long trip to Thailand planned and I'm leaving in a month.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. If you have a trip that's like that significant planned early on in your employment.
Worth, but also know that they can replace you.
Yeah, be smart with it. But 6 months, I think you're all right to take a Friday.
Agreed.
You know what I'm doing on Friday, Randy? Putting in my DraftKings lineup. Week 2 of football is in the books, and now it's time to review the tape and get ready for Week 3 with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To kick off another action-packed week, DraftKings is giving new customers $150 instantly when they bet $1 on any football game. Here's the deal. Randy, head to DraftKings Sportsbook now. Place a $1 bet on any game this week. Receive $150 in free bets instantly, right away. Done. Sportsbook is not yet available in your state. DraftKings still has huge cash prizes up for grabs all season long with their daily fantasy contests that I have been in for the last couple weeks and have not done well. Sally, I need your help with my lineup this week.
I don't think that you should ask me.
Okay. Dave has won a more than beer money. I'll put it that way.
I mean, I could help you, but I don't. It would just be me picking random names.
Couldn't be worse than 0. So
that's true.
DraftKings is giving new customers free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. And like they mentioned, they don't have the sports book in Texas yet. There are, I think, more than 20 states that do have the sports book. And if you don't, the prizes are still like, there's $1 million games every weekend.
Wow.
Pop in a couple shots at it and see what happens. I've been doing it so far unsuccessfully. So here's what you do. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code WASHED to receive $150 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any football game. That's promo code WASHED this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You must be 21 or older in the following states: New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. 1 per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or if you're in Indiana, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Sally, ready for the next one?
Yes, let's do it.
What's up, Brett and Sally? I've been waiting for Sally to be back for this one. Sally, you've mentioned how you've battled with body dysmorphia in the past, and especially during your pregnancy. I have a couple friends who are trying to get pregnant, both of which have struggled with disordered eating in the past, as have I. What are some compliments you received that made you feel confident or more comfortable with how your body changed? Thanks. I will leave the floor open.
You're not going to give me your pregnancy taste?
Because I guess my only take is I don't know how to compliment a pregnant woman because I have not really had that experience.
So let me just put a blanket statement out there.
Okay.
You should never, ever. Here are some like absolutely nots for talking to pregnant women.
Okay.
Number 1, do not ever ask when someone is due unless they have told you that they're pregnant. Okay, so you can't just assume that people are pregnant.
Take the assumption out the window. Yeah.
Do not do that.
Okay.
Because
it makes an ass out of you and me.
Playing with fire there.
Yes.
Number 2, never tell someone like, oh my God, you're so big. Like, oh, you're only 6 months? You must be about to pop. Like, or the opposite. Oh my God, you're so small. Like, I can't believe that you're, 8 months pregnant. I think that was like, for me, those kinds of comments were annoying. Because I think when you become pregnant, people invite it as like, all they can talk to you about is the fact that you're pregnant, which is kind of annoying because you're like, I have other shit to talk about. It's like the default. It's like if you're pregnant, all they can talk about is if you're pregnant, which is like at this point talking about like the weather or COVID,
right.
Like have something else to say to me. Number 2, like talking about my appearance while pregnant is also not great. Like there were days where I felt enormous and uncomfortable and like I didn't want someone to be like, oh, like how much more time left? Like whatever. If you want to talk to a pregnant woman and like make her feel better, and obviously this probably differs with everyone, but I feel like other women that were in my life sympathize with me on this. Ask like, how are you feeling? How's everything going? Like how is like pregnancy for you so far? Are you sick? Like, how, like ask them how they're feeling. Like,
what can I do to help?
What can you do? What are you excited about? Because all people want to talk about is like how uncomfortable you are, how big you look. I mean, something that's always nice to hear is like, you're glowing like that.
That was my one ask.
Even if you're fucking not glowing, like I think my skin looked like trash and I was like, had a rusting bitch face and like never had makeup on. And when people tell me I'm glowing, I'm like, thank you so much. Like, but saying like, you have such a cute bump or like, oh my God, are you carrying? Don't ask somebody, are you carrying twins? That's fucking rude. Oh,
jeez.
Don't do that. So honestly, the best way to compliment a pregnant woman is to not discuss anything about her body. Also, do not touch a pregnant woman's stomach. This should go without saying, but people lose all inhibition around pregnant women for some reason.
It's like you're a puppy.
Touch their stomach and be like, "Oh my God, wow!" Like,
can I feel it?
Again, don't. No. If I like, there were times when he was kicking, and I would be like, "Oh my God, he's kicking!" I would like grab the person's hand and like put it on his stomach, but don't do it unless someone asks you. Like it's their body. Would you ever like walk up to a random and just like put your hand on their stomach? No, you wouldn't.
No.
Right?
As with most things, like unless you are invited by a woman to touch her body.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where. Do not do it.
Yeah. That's a great just blanket statement.
Very, very solid blanket thing right there.
Okay, so she said, what are some comments that you received that made you feel confident or more comfortable with your body change? Okay. I think I have said in the past that like, I don't know when I talked about body dysmorphia. I have never had an issue with disordered eating. I definitely had friends who struggled with that. But I think all of us struggle with some like insecurities around our bodies. And many of those things become more apparent when you're pregnant. The hardest part for me is in the beginning when you're not showing and you just feel bloated and disgusting and fat. And you just assume like, wow, people just think I got fat. And you can't really tell anybody that you're pregnant yet. So you have to be like, I'm not fat. I just am pregnant. Like, and I'm bloated and I can't put my pants
You can't just like yell that at somebody,
right.
even though
so
you want to.
That part was always hard, mostly because like I stopped fitting in my pants like 10 weeks, and then I was like, I felt huge, even though I probably wasn't.
Right.
But to answer her question, honestly, it wasn't until I had Fritz that I felt really comfortable in my body. Will kept being like, telling me like, you're beautiful, you look great, like you're amazing, you're growing a human, all of the things that you would want to hear, like I remember someone being like, don't feel bad about you're literally like doing an amazing
I just think that's
thing.
so cool. Like you're
It
growing
is
a
very
person.
cool, but at the time when you're pregnant, you're just thinking like, I don't feel well.
You're thinking
I'm
about the mirror, right?
Yeah. And there are people, not everyone feels like this. Like Lily, if you ask Lily, she had like an amazing experience and like felt like she was a goddess, and like the Beyonce photo when she's like pregnant and like with the flower crown and shit like that. I was not like that. Like, but I will say after I had Fritz, I was like, holy shit. Like, first of all, I can't believe my body did that and does what it does now. Like, weirdly, I think being pregnant and being a mom has like totally made a lot of that go away. Do I wish that like I had a 6-pack and had a Megan Fox body? Yeah. But like now I'm kind of like proud of what my body looks like.
Yeah.
Like I birthed a human. But I will say as soon as I had him, I was like already sad that I wasn't pregnant anymore, because
interesting.
you kind of take it for granted, or at least I did. Like the months from like, I was probably 6 months, 6 to 9. So like the whole last trimester. People are so nice to you, and you don't realize it. Like people are
Get
so
the good
nice to
parking
you.
spot
yeah,
too.
like people are like, oh, like get off your feet, sweetie. Like, oh my gosh. Like it would get annoying when people would like talk to me about how big I was or touch my stomach. But like for the most part, like people were like opening doors for me, like telling me I looked beautiful. Like you're like, oh hell yeah.
So you lose the goodwill pretty quick, right?
Right. And then this is the thing. You have a baby, and then people do not give a shit about you. And all they care about is your baby, and you're like, I'm struggling. Like I haven't slept. I have postpartum hormones out the wazoo, possible postpartum depression, anxiety. I am feeding another human. Like my body is a mess. Like but like people don't care at that point. They're like, oh, you're a blob, whatever. Like get back in shape. But your baby's cute. So yeah, like being a woman sucks sometimes. No, pregnancy was great. I did not like it while I was pregnant. And now I'm like, I low-key can't wait to get pregnant again, because I was like,
we dropping news?
No.
Okay.
But I was like, wow, pregnancy was great. I just totally didn't realize it at the time. All that being said, it's really hard to reason with somebody when if they already have a history of like being insecure about their body and having body dysmorphia, and even especially when you get into the like disordered eating category, it's really hard to tell somebody like the weight you're gaining is okay, you're going to lose it, everything's going to be fine. You cannot focus on that. You've got to focus on the kid. But you just have to keep telling somebody that. Like that was what I needed from Will, was like, you're growing a human. You're supposed to be getting bigger. Like
it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard to remember that when it's happening to you, because you're like, my thighs are rubbing together and my feet hurt and I can't sleep on my back anymore. Like it's so many emotions. I will say, like, if you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant and you really are struggling with that, I would seek maybe counseling, like talk to your OB about it, things like that, because you do have to remember, like, you're growing something and you need to like be in a healthy mindset to do that, Totally. But I'm not gonna lie to you, there was times where it was great and people were really nice to me, and there was times I fucking hated it. And now I look back, I'm like, I wish I could be pregnant again, because people are really nice to you.
Yeah. I'm picturing like a couple weeks after you've had the baby, you're home, and Will's like, hey, what about the chores that we used to do, type of thing? It's just like, no, No, those don't exist yet.
No, you're like, I birthed something.
Yeah,
so.
no, you still got a couple months of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, but also, it's a great experience. I did love it. Now I love it now that
That's awesome.
happened to me.
Well, Fritz is very lucky. You're an awesome mom. Will tells us all the stories. Well, most of the stories.
Yeah. You get a cute little baby out of it too. And I was not prepared for that. Now I love him a lot.
You will die for your child
Yeah.
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
There rumors are going around that there was a boot purchase potentially made.
Oh yeah, I purchased some little baby cowboy boots from. They were in a lot of people messaged me about them actually a couple of weeks ago because he borrowed Lily's, and so he had to get some new ones.
Had to get some new ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shouts to Fritz. How about the next one, Sally?
Fritz.
Hey, Brett and Sally. I have a friend's wedding next spring. As a co-best man, when should I start planning the bachelor party? I've planned one before, but at the same time, there was no COVID restrictions to worry about. Is 6 months too far out because of the potential new COVID restrictions?
No, you should start planning now.
Absolutely. If anything, because of COVID.
Right. One, because you've got to round up all the people who are going to go, and travel right now, I think even more so is crazy because of COVID. So the more planning you do ahead of time, like booking stuff, the better. And then obviously with the caveat of any of this could change at any moment. Hopefully if you're going somewhere within the United States, the worst that's going to happen is you're going to have to get some tests and show your vaccine card or whatever.
Totally.
But
you mentioned they are all fully vaxxed in the party.
Yeah. But also, I mean, that's always important. So start right now, figuring out who's going to go, where the groom wants to go, what's on the docket. And then along with all of that, are the people vaccinated? Do you have to get tests? All of those things can come. But the more time you have, the less you're gonna have to scramble later on. So then once everything's planned, when everyone went to New Orleans for Micah's bachelor party, they right the weekend that they went was when you had to start showing your vaccine status to do stuff, but it didn't go in effect till Monday. And so they were basically that was on the plan. And then it was okay, if we have to show this or do a test or whatever, we'll just figure that out when the change happens. Yeah. I think as long as you're planning in the United States, you're good. If you're trying to go international, most likely it'll if you're going to Mexico, they're going to always let us in probably. I can't imagine a scenario where they don't. But at this, I think you're safe and you may just have to decide. But that's the other thing, especially even with, I don't know. I mean, in Texas, everything's open, but even for dinner reservations and stuff, pre-COVID, without COVID happening, you still need time to book restaurants and stuff if you're going to have a reservation of more than 6 people. So and you got to do that months in advance too. So start planning now.
I think 6 months is probably as much time as you need for a bachelor party.
Yeah, you're not behind the 8 ball by any means. No.
I think it's a good time to get it. You don't even need an itinerary, but you need the guest list. How many people are you booking reservations for? 3 months is pretty danger zone, I'd say. Yeah. So between 6 and 3, you get everybody on the same page.
If you're going to get an Airbnb or a hotel, and most of those places, even if you book it and you get some money from some of the people right now, you can still cancel within I don't know. I mean, I look at the policy, but a lot of places will let you cancel 30 days before, or even hotels. Some of them will let you cancel
the day of.
The day of.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of that is much better now because of COVID, because I think people are looking for good cancellation policies. So people have been pretty free with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like people have held COVID cancellation policies after, Delta, for example, has waived their cancellation fees.
Right. So that's, I mean, obviously look into what you're doing and don't buy something that's non-refundable, but I think this is a good time. And most people will hopefully know their schedule 6 months out. And then if shit changes.
Exactly. Yeah. You're in a better position to get more people on the bachelor party as well. Being 6 months out, you're the plans. People a month out, my buddy started planning his bachelor party a month and a half out, and like
people have shit going
people
on
have shit
already.
going on.
Yeah.
So that's fun. You know what you could wear on this bachelor party though to look kind of sick walking around.
Oh, what?
How about some Rothy's,
Oh,
Sally?
okay.
Big news in shoes. Rothy's is now selling men's sneakers and men's driving loafers. I'm popping my Rothy's up on the table
Wow.
as we speak. They're the bone sneakers.
You're showing them and you're doing a stretch. Way to go.
You see, this is literally as far as I can go right now.
Those sneakers look great though.
Looking good and feeling great just got easier. Unbeatable comfort, classic styles, easy to clean, sustainable. Rothy's men's shoes check every box. I actually threw these in the washer 2 days ago.
That's great.
That's the best.
They're very clean.
Yeah, very clean. And they're white, which is like, I have another pair of Rothy's. It's like the sand color.
Uh-huh.
Threw them in the washer. Boom, perfect.
That's great.
I've never had any shoes that are as comfortable out of the box and look as good out of the box as Rothy's. Absolutely phenomenal shoes. They offered elevated style that's just better for the planet. All thanks to their innovative processes and materials. Rothy's men's shoes are made from 100% recycled materials, even the laces. No wonder Rothy's best-selling men's shoe, the driving loafer in navy, gets a 5-star review from almost every customer. Wore these loafers to my 2-year work anniversary dinner
That carve.
at Carve.
Carve.
Had the filet. It was really good. And the sneakers, these bone sneakers with the gum soles have become my go-tos.
Yeah.
Because after you kind of get the sneakers, the athletic sneakers out of the wardrobe for the summer, now you need something casual and cool, and that's what I'm doing with my Rothy's.
They look great.
Thank you. To help you welcome in fall in style, Rothy's is doing something special. That's right. They're giving us the chance to share this super rare opportunity with our listeners for a limited time. Right now, you can get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/mail. That's ROTHYS.com/mail. Head to rothys.com/mail to find your new favorites today. Let's do the next one, Sally. Hello, Brett and guest. This is a doozy. I was recently a maid of honor in my best friend's wedding. Leading up to the day, I planned the bachelorette party, threw a bridal shower because nobody threw her one, and even helped make bouquets/flower arrangements the day before the wedding. Here we go. The bride has now reached out to me and one other bridesmaid 2 days after said wedding, saying that we ruined her weekend because breakfast plans got messed up day of, and she, quote, didn't think we had fun at the rehearsal dinner, end quote. Side note, breakfast plans were messed up because she was late leaving and forgot her wedding dress. We thought it would help relieve stress if we dropped her off and some other bridesmaids so they could start getting ready while we went to grab breakfast and the wedding dress so we wouldn't be an hour late getting to the venue. She's also upset that another bridesmaid ordered White Claws and had them delivered to the venue for getting ready. She even drank some of them. She's now blaming me for having people drink before the ceremony, noting we did not get drunk, only had one White Claw apiece. Not once did she voice her concerns the day of the wedding. I had no idea that she was upset. She's being completely unreasonable and wants an apology. But at this point, I feel like I deserve the apology. Guys, do I owe her an apology? This sounds like the text message from hell.
I mean, this girl's got to get a grip. Like,
what is happening?
Okay, so clearly, like, she's a close friend because you were her maid of honor.
Yes.
Right? She was a maid of honor.
She was.
Okay. Oh, yeah, she said in my best friend's wedding.
No, you don't owe her an apology.
No, if anything, she owes you an apology. Give her some time to cool off.
Yes.
Obviously, this is what's sad. We talk about weddings a lot on this podcast. People get really worked up about weddings and their like expectations are through the roof. And let me just tell you, if you're planning a wedding or part of a wedding or going to go to a wedding, like lower your expectations because it's never going to turn out exactly how you want. Mm-hmm. And the people who have the most fun are people who aren't expecting shit.
Exactly. Booze and dance floor.
Right. Like I get it. Like it totally makes sense. If you ever been a bride or planned a wedding, like there is normally months and months of preparation that goes into it. I mean, mine was a little bit different, but I watched Lily do it right before me.
Yep.
And like you plan for all these like details. That,
You don't
like,
plan for the tropical storm.
Yeah, you don't plan for Tropical Storm Larry or whatever the hell. But you plan for all these like small details, and you're like, oh my god, like we're gonna hand all the guests tequila shots. This is like a little thing that Lily did. It was actually really fun. But like, we're gonna hand them tequila shots as they walk down. Blah blah. Blah. No one fucking remembers that detail. Not at all. Like what they remember is like the kiss when the ceremony happened.
Woo.
You know, the food like that they ate or didn't eat, and that they were drunk and had fun.
You know, I think my take is that everybody remembers hors d'oeuvres at a wedding more than they remember the main course. Because the main course is average to above average chicken, steak, or whatever. Name your fish.
I mean, people are going to remember the party itself.
Yeah. People
are not going to remember little details. And this girl, the friend sweating over like really dumb stuff.
If you're a bridesmaid getting ready and you're not having like White Claws and champagne, Vizzy's and champagne actually.
Vizzy's like
what are you
serious? That's probably why she's pissed. I mean,
what are you doing?
To be fair to the bride, I mean, she didn't order the girl didn't order Vizzy. She ordered White Claws.
She ordered White. Yeah, I would be pissed too.
But just kidding. But here's the thing. Here's a literal message to anybody who's going to get married one day. Please do not ruin the time for yourself by being concerned about if other people are having fun. Okay. And in that same vein, like you also have to allow people to have fun. Like you can't be like Nazi and be like upset that somebody wants to have a drink before the ceremony. Like
crazy.
One of the worst things about being in a wedding is getting ready with the bride. And like, I love all my friends and I am happy that they chose me to be part of their wedding. But like, I'm not going to lie to you. And I would tell any of them to their face, getting ready for like 8 hours on end, getting your hair and makeup done when you're stuck in a room with like 10 other girls, only 2 of whom you know, or maybe you know none of them, fucking sucks. Okay. Like the bride, it's not like you're hanging out with the bride. I mean, you are, but you're really like a prop because the bride is so consumed with like anxiety about what's about to happen, like fear that people aren't going to have fun. Like that's the thing. I think the people who I have been around who've been the most chill on their wedding were just like, it is what it is. Like I'm going to do me. Very rarely, unfortunately, and I love everyone, but like Brett, if you had to tell me right now what's the best wedding you've ever been to, could you like?
I could build, you know, like they do in sports. You're like, you take Tom Brady's arm and you take Matt Stafford's like mental whatever. I could build you the perfect wedding with the weddings that I've been to.
Okay, but you're not like
no. Like
I
Christian's
remember
wedding
like
was awesome,
Tom's
but it's not
wedding because like he had a photo booth and it fucking rocked. No, guess what? Your wedding is in a string of other people's weddings, and no one remembers it unless, here's the kicker, you're unbelievably loaded and you just do like absurd shit, and that's why people remember it because they're like, oh, like he rode in on a fucking white
dolphin
horse, like, you know. But like, unfortunately,
they helicoptered into their reception.
The way
hall.
the weddings have become, and like I was victim to this. Like you think like, okay, we've got to like do all this like special shit that like is very pertains to us. And like I remember I got really upset because I really liked this song, How Long Will I Love You, that was in the movie About Time. And Will and I, for like a long time, it was like one of the first movies we watched together, and we were like, we love that song, it's gonna be our first dance song, blah blah blah. I told my friend, she had it as her first dance song, and I was like, what the literal fuck, I can't believe she would do this. No one remembers that she danced to that besides her, okay, and me. Like, and if I danced to it, she probably wouldn't have even noticed. Like, and we didn't even have a first dance, but like people get so caught up in like, we've got to have these personal details. We need everyone to have fun. I need everyone, like, it's got to be about me, but also I need everyone to like, I hate when people do this. It's a party for you. It's a vacation for you. No, it's not. It's about you. Okay. Like, stop pretending that like you inviting me to a wedding is a party for me. It's a party for you.
Yeah.
That's fine. But like at the same time, you have to be a reasonable human being. And I think a lot of my friends who've gotten married, myself included, look back and you're like, most of that shit was not important. Just like this girl, like that shit was not important. The fact like that this girl was going out of her way to like help her friend out, to get a dress and drop off the friends so they can start getting ready. Like that was a good deed.
Absolutely.
And a really nice thing to do. And like, clearly she busted her ass for her best friend, like doing all this stuff. I mean, like being part of the bachelorette party, freaking making bouquets, all of that. Like she busted her ass. And like the fact that the bride can only see what went wrong is selfish and shitty, but unfortunately probably pretty much the norm for a lot of people who get really wrapped up in weddings. And you know, everyone has a friend that did that. Like everyone has I talk to my friends now who had weddings when we were like, I feel like the big people who got really involved in their weddings was like when we were in our late 20s. And I talk to them now and they're like, that didn't even matter. Like, I can't believe that I spent a year like stressing over dumb shit. Yep. But unfortunately, it's kind of a rite of passage that people have to have now because of the way that our society like acts towards weddings.
The weddings are like, they're like Instagram events now.
I really thought COVID was going to change that. I thought, and I think it has for some people. I think, but also at the same time, it like perpetuates itself. Now this girl who wrote in the question is like, I had to fucking be through the trenches for this girl. Now all these people get to be through the trenches for me. It's like when you watch somebody else do it, you're like, well, it's my turn next.
Yeah, absolutely.
All that to say, like, your friend owes you an apology and you busted your ass for her, and I would give her some time to cool down.
I think she's projecting based on
she
other
probably
parts of the
was
wedding.
like upset about something else and is projecting it on you. But give her some time to calm down and then be like, I thought the day was great. We all had fun. You looked beautiful. What a great time. It hurts my feelings that I spent the last year of my life.
She ruined her weekend.
Like bending
In
over
quotes,
backwards for you, and you told me that I ruined your weekend. Like that needs some sense talked into the friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, and hopefully this is a one-off and your friend just like is being a low-key bridezilla, and that she's not just like a shitty person, but like that she probably just got so wrapped up in all the stuff that she needs a little come down to earth. And she'll realize like, wow, that was psychotic of me to say like, you ruined my weekend because you helped me out. Yeah.
Something else went wrong with the bride this weekend that we don't know. Which, is she.
Again, if no one else knows about it, like why should it have
nothing? Right. It shouldn't matter.
I feel like we get flack for talking about weddings on this podcast a lot, but I think people talk about them a lot or like ask us questions because it's something that a lot of people in their 20s and 30s deal with all the time. And all of that to say, like, have a wedding, enjoy yourself, be selfish, have a party for yourself, but also realize at the same time that every other person is doing this and you can't like be so consumed with one event.
I couldn't agree more. When I get married, all I want is that a ton of my friends are in one spot, liquored up and telling stories.
Right.
Like,
and
that's
I think,
baseline.
I think it is a great thing. Like, our wedding was great because it was so humbling to see that people traveled out to California to like celebrate with us. But I was never going to tell people like, this is your California vacation. Like,
right. Yeah. Like, enjoy the beach.
They came out there because we were getting married and I asked them to.
Right.
And that was really special that people said yes and still did it. Like,
I thought it was really special that Will FaceTimed me on the night of your wedding.
Yeah. Yeah.
in your hotel room.
Yeah. See, actually, like, we care about you the most, Brett.
Yeah. Like, literally, just weren't partying, just watching TV.
We
like,
were watching Talented Mr. Ripley. But, like, I think the more you realize if you're the bride or groom, like, okay, we're going to do all this, and it's asking a lot of our guests, and wow, how blessed are we that people want to come
100%.
celebrate us. The more you realize, like, okay, I don't need to be a C word just because my friend ruined my breakfast or whatever. That, like, no one remembers or cares about.
Totally. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more.
I'm so sorry for this person who wrote in. Like,
I
that's
agree.
so frustrating.
I think give it some time. You will get the apology you so deserve.
Yeah, give it some time. Give her some time to come to
You know what? You know what happened? We mentioned it. She brought the wrong hard seltzer.
Doy.
If she had brought our friends over at Vizzy, you'd be on Wedding
I don't want to
Digest.
call this girl out, but like, she did say a different bridesmaid got them delivered, so like, not her fault. The other bridesmaid's fault.
Correct.
Obviously,
this one she would have known that if Vizzy's entered the equation, none of this would have happened.
She also said she even drank some of them, so that's why she was pissed. The bride was pissed. She drank some of the other ones.
Vizzy has been in my fridge all summer, on my patio, on a boat. It's been on the golf course with me. Vizzy's been arguably my second closest friend this summer.
Wow.
Caroline's she's number one.
She's number one. Okay.
Yeah, she's number
That's
one.
nice.
But Vizzy's number two, pretty much.
Wow.
Vizzy's been
over Randy.
Vizzy's been on my patio with me.
Randy's
Randy hasn't
okay
yet.
With that. Yeah.
Randy's helping me fix stuff. We'll talk about shower thoughts. Hold on.
Okay.
That'll come later. But Vizzy's just been with me every step of the way. And you know why? Because it's an easy choice to drink Vizzy. Because it's the only hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C, like we mentioned before, and superfruit acerola. It's delicious. And I've been, I think, through all 16 flavors now, Sally. And I could probably give you a ranking 1 to 16. I won't do that in this ad read.
I
But I
would
could.
like to see it though.
Lemonades, I think, are 1 through 4.
Okay. Okay.
I did a Vizzy-mosa the other weekend.
Have you done an acerola spritz?
I have not done the sorry, Vizzy. I have not done the acerola spritz yet.
Yeah, they're delightful.
Absolutely I forgot to ask Will about that.
Yeah.
I need to do that. But there are plenty of hard seltzers to choose from. But with its bold and delicious dual fruit flavors, Vizzy makes the choice a little easier because it's a lot tastier. Vizzy, you can enjoy refreshment now with the antioxidant vitamin C, like we said, and at 5% alcohol by volume and 100 calories, less than 1 gram of real cane sugar per can. Every sip of Vizzy is more exhilarating than the last. Upgrade your hard seltzer to Vizzy while we still have some summer and warm weather left. You can still drink in the fall too. Shoot, winter. We'll find some ways to drink Vizzy all year. To find out where you can purchase Vizzy, go to VizzyHardSeltzer.com/washed. That's VizzyHardSeltzer.com/washed. And to get updates on the latest flavor drops and more, sign up for emails at VizzyHardSeltzer.com/subscribe. That's VizzyHardSeltzer.com/subscribe. You must be 21 plus to buy. Sally.
Speaking of alcohol.
Hey guys, can we get a 2021 fall wine guide? Always looking to try something new, but we are firmly in poundable Pinot season. Salgal's opinions of paramount importance.
Okay. First of all,
tongue twister there.
Yeah.
Pounding
I saw
Pinot
this on
season.
the rundown. It was going to be number 1, and I made you move it because I had to text my friend. So I'm just going to throw this out there.
Okay.
My friend Alex is a Somm, not like a full-blown Somm, but I think he's a level 2.
Okay. Somm 2, very solid.
Yeah.
Somm 1, you and I could get tomorrow. Somm 2,
I kind of like want to do it.
just to have it.
Yeah. But then I also have like friends like Alex who I'm like, okay, well, let me just like
Get his
follow
opinion.
you. I'm also my friend Holly. So I have 2 friends who do it, but my friend Alex has an Instagram. He takes pictures of the wine. He says what it is, like kind of the tasting notes, what the price point is, what you compare it with, when it's good to drink, etc.
Yeah.
His Instagram is at Cernoch Cellars. So Cernoch is spelled Cernoch.
Okay.
Cellars.
Cernoch Cellars.
Yeah, Cernoch is his last name.
Got
We
it.
actually called him Cernoch, so if I refer to him as that. So I texted him when I saw the question. I was like, I'm about to pimp your Instagram. It's a great Instagram. He was like really
Follow
into it
him
last year, and I feel like he has a daughter, like a new daughter, so he hasn't done it as much, but maybe if we all follow him, it'll give him the push he needs. Also, another great one is my friend Holly, and hers is called Brute and Bougie.
Brute and Bougie.
So it's Brute like champagne and bougie.
Okay. That's up there with garlic aioli. My Instagram account where I travel the world in search of the world's greatest garlic aioli.
She also has like same exact thing. It's like really nice. Both of them give you just like really easy to like to go into the grocery store, like know what you're looking at, what you want, in like approachable ways. You know,
digestible recommendations, if you will.
And Holly will do stuff like kind of little like stories about like she did a whole thing about Chianti and like what things mean, which is always helpful too. So, but follow those. But I texted him and I was like, I need some fall wine tracks because like
fall wine guy.
If we're being honest, there is like one bottle of Bordeaux that Will and I love at Central Market. It's like I think it's $12.
What is it? Because cheap. Bordeaux is the one relatively cheap wine that I can't stand.
Okay, so like it's like my go-to red, and I buy it like in bulk because I think it's like $12.95 or something. Damn. And I cannot pronounce it. It's like Chateau
de Rhone?
Something.
the Côte de Rhone?
Will
that's
took
a really
picture
nice
of it because in Central Market, they had it on display and it said, hard to say.
Oh.
Like, because it was like, the title's hard to say, the wine. And
it's
so Will took a picture of it, and then the guy like literally tried to call him out for like taking a picture of the display, and Will was like, it's an inside joke with our podcast. Like,
jeez.
Anyway, that's my go-to. I will try to find a picture of it and then like post it on a story so that people know what I'm talking about. It's like a great cheap bottle.
Interesting. I need that because Bordeaux is probably my second favorite wine at higher price points.
Yeah.
And like my least favorite red at low price points.
Yeah. Okay. So here is what he sent me. He's got 3, and I'm going to probably butcher some of these. So please, Cernoc, don't kill me. Okay. Chenin Blanc.
Chenin Blanc.
Chenin.
Got it. Chenin Blanc.
It's not shit and Blanc.
That's why I was surprised.
I hope I'm pronouncing these right. Chenin, like Chenin.
Chenin.
Is that correct? Like Randy's okay. It's not shit in Blanc. Okay. Medium-bodied white with a variety of styles. Look for yellow apples, pears, persimmons, jasmine.
So you're going with a white in fall. I didn't see that coming from you.
Pairs perfectly with turkey and cranberry sauce per Alex.
Oh.
Perfect sipper while jamming to Volcano Girls by Veruca Salt. All right, that's like
that's just a personal opinion. That's not a sommelier.
Well, apparently it is. He gives you the full.
This one goes well jamming a Dave Matthews Band.
No, he's not going to say that. So Chenin Blancs. I mean, we're not going to go all full fall reds. We can't just go full reds.
I hate to inform you, my list is all fall reds.
Okay. Oh shit! I'm going to mispronounce some of these words.
What do we got?
Semillon, Semillon. Please don't come at me.
Simeon.
Simeon.
I
don't know. Do not come at me for mispronouncing these. Cernoc's going to listen to this and be like, she's an idiot. A fuller bodied white, another white.
2 whites.
With approachable flavors that are perfect for fall. Look for lemon, grapefruit, red and yellow apples, honey drizzled figs. Whoa. White flowers. Pair with a bolder aromatic dish. Great with candied sweet potatoes. Delightful. Huge fall. Or itself on the couch with a cinnamon spice candle. Or a pumpkin spice.
It is pumpkin spice candle season.
I'm not going to shit on white wine in the fall because white wine is incredibly poundable.
It is the most poundable.
I'm about to go get some wine after this. Okay.
I have some dope wines and some dope white wines, I should say, in my my fridge right now.
GSM. Do you know what GSM stands for?
Isn't that a dog?
That's a GSB.
Oh.
Okay. Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre.
Monteverde?
No, I
oh,
GSM.
Boy.
Okay.
This is not going as Sally planned.
It's not. Do not make a clip out of this, like of me trying to pronounce French words.
We need to get wine Twitter fired up again.
Rhone style blend. Look for raspberries, blackberries, fresh herbs, and baking spices. I love a blend, okay?
Of course.
On the bolder side, but still versatile, pairs well with spices and herbs like pepper and sage, perfect for a prime rib, barbecue, mole, or roasted chicken. That screams fall. Like
that's a fall wine for sure.
Yeah.
That's a fall wine.
And then our favorite, a Tempranillo.
Yeah. Go get a temp. That's what I used in my fall and Christmas sangria. Was a cheap temp from Total Wine.
I love it. He actually, by the way, Cernak has a story on his Instagram from Total Wine where he like goes through Total Wine just
it's
to
the best
stuff out.
It's the only place you can talk high school football for 4 hours and walk home with an awesome selection of wines.
Correct. Look for cherries, plums, leather, tobacco, and cedar. Leather and tobacco sounds very fall to me. Mm-hmm. Higher in alcohol, tight, and tannins, and goes great with roasted meat of any kind. Look for Crianza or Reserva on the label. Perfect for smoking a cigar and listening to Herbie Hancock on the back porch.
Love that. See, I can get down with that recommendation.
I'm down for all these. I'm about to literally go to Total Wine after this.
Let's make that. We'll do the mail-in fall collection on our Instagram. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, here's my list. Ready? All in the sweet spot between 12 and 20-ish, which is where I live.
Okay.
Han, my favorite cheap Pinot on the planet. Get it for like $8 in Lake Tahoe. It's like $12.95 here. People are catching on big time to Han.
I'm a big Josh Pinot gal.
That's fine. You can't go wrong with some Josh.
Even like a Mayomi.
Yep, Mayomi, very good
too. And I know that's basic.
It is.
But I'm fine with it.
Yeah. It's like you know what you're going to get. I have a basic one on here too. Simi, which is like Mayomi Premium.
Okay.
And Bonanza, which is Camus Light. You ever have Bonanza?
Mm-mm.
It's by the same guy that does Camus.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I know what Bonanza is.
A couple of my sneaky favorites, Bella Gloss, Gentleman's Collection, Liberty School, R, The Federalist, and Gunsight Rock are all repeat buys on my end.
Okay.
Also, you ever see the label R? I think it's just R something. Really, really good. That's what Caroline's parents have a bunch of, and I love it. Then, sneaky goes the best with fall is either Behringer Bros or Barrel Bomb bourbon-aged red blends because you can do spicy, you can do bold meat, you can do barbecue. Bourbon barrel-aged red blends are unbelievable. Or cab.
Okay.
But I'm going to say try something in a bourbon barrel for fall. That's probably basic too, but
I'm more of a cab girl in the fall, I feel like.
Oh, give me Pinot. Give me like flavor, like the deeper berry, leather, tobacco, spice, vanilla, chocolate, like Pinot. Cabs are summery to me. Ish.
See, I feel the opposite. I drink more Pinot in the summer.
Really?
And more cab in the winter.
We'll have this debate till the end of time.
Another thing that Cernak talks about on his Instagram, especially if you're...
I just followed him.
Yeah. This was the tip that he gave us last fall in Texas that I abide to all the time, is that Beaujolais is actually a great wine if you are wanting a little red, but it's still like 100 degrees out, you know, and you want something a little
light, keep you light on your feet.
Because fall... For everyone else in the Northeast, like you want to cozy up, get something like really heavy, go for it. Like here, we're like, well, shit, if I can't go like heavy red and it's 96 degrees out, like that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we can't even like start getting into the fall territory till like late October.
I know. It's miserable.
Which is why he suggested 2 whites.
It is like 62 and sunny in Saratoga every day for the next month and a half.
Yeah.
And I have to wait for it to be 62 for 3 days at the end of October, early November, and then it just gets weird high 50s and muggy here. The winter sucks.
I think for sorry, I just hit my mic. I think for me, like that's when I put away the Sauvignon Blanc in summer and like move to the heavier stuff.
Yeah,
but I'm still willing to like drink a white.
I'll still pop open a white. I'll get crazy with it. I'll pop open a white. Why not?
Do you love a buttery shard?
No. I don't. I love a crispy shard.
I do too. I love like a Chablis.
Yeah.
But like a buttery shard.
My mom loved a buttery shard. R.I.P.
People who love buttery shards,
Yeah.
like my friend Haley, loves a buttery
Yeah,
shard.
they're like an archetype, right?
Oh,
They're their own.
and they won't drink anything else.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. That's good for them.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But
Chablis sounds nice right now.
I know. Should we go have a glass of wine?
Yeah. Randy's in. We're gonna have a glass of wine.
I'm about to go to Total Wine after this.
Speaking of, I'm gonna shout out nakedwines.com. I just got 6 bottles of wine for $10.
Oh, tight.
Yeah.
Is that a sponsor?
Nope. That's just sneaky shots.
Oh, okay.
That's going to do it for questions today. Sally, do you have any shower thoughts?
I mean, on all this like wine talk and fall talk, it's getting me pretty amped up, and I'm gonna say it. I'm a basic bitch. I'm about to go to Trader Joe's and like load up on some pumpkin
Let's
shit.
Let's go, Sally.
Last year when I was pregnant when this happened, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like September, I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm getting everything pumpkin, and I like bought every single thing they had.
Oh,
The
I
pumpkin
love it.
cinnamon
Yeah.
rolls are unmatched.
I might have to do the same thing.
And the little they're like I think they're called Hold the Cone or something like that, but it's like a little cone with like a little bit of ice cream in it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They have a pumpkin flavor in it, and then like the inside has white chocolate. It is so good.
My favorite pumpkin thing, besides pumpkin bread, which is up there.
Pumpkin bread is a top tier.
Pumpkin bread, consistent basis. The Wollaston's Cafe at Northeastern has a pumpkin muffin that is my favorite, arguably my favorite bite of food in existence.
I'm not even like, I'm not gonna feel bad about being basic for liking pumpkin because I will straight up eat pumpkin year round.
Yeah. I used to. I would have a
Pumpkin
pumpkin
pie
muffin.
is like in my top 3 pies.
Mm-hmm. Little pumpkin pecan.
What are your actually? That's my shower thought. What are your top 3 pies?
Top 3 pies: chocolate that my grandma makes, pumpkin, and blueberry or apple. 3A, 3B. Both are the same to me, but
Okay.
they're my third choice on the pumpkin tray or on the pie rack.
I can't really like rank these, but I think I'm gonna go pumpkin, blueberry. Actually, probably number 1 is key lime.
Ooh, I don't think I've ever had a piece of key lime pie.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
no, I swear. It's just not
so
a
good.
northern thing.
Oh my gosh, my grandparents have a house in Florida, and when we would go visit, there's one grocery store that makes amazing key lime pie, like the local place. And Will and I went. This is like years ago. I bought one at the beginning of the trip. We ate the whole thing. Then I bought another one, and we had to leave. And I took it to go with us, and like ate half of a pie on the plate.
Oh my God.
Like a half, like gave myself diabetes. It was so good.
Oh my God. You know what I've had is a lemon meringue pie. I feel like that's kind of, you get a similar vibe to that, right?
But key lime usually has a graham cracker crust.
I fucks with that.
Yeah, it's real fucking good.
Well, now we're going to go get a bunch of wine and pie
Yeah.
after this.
What's your shower thought?
How much can I get away with in my apartment in terms of construction? For example, I'm going to switch out a light fixture
Yeah, that's fine.
and hardwire a new light fixture.
Okay.
You think that's okay?
Yeah, like if you talk to any interior designer, a lot of people will be like, if you're renting a place, the best way to like upgrade it without having, because you obviously can't like knock down walls.
Correct.
Is like changing the hardware on the cabinets, like changing the light fixtures.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of people, like my Joyce, who was on Will's podcast, Sunday
Mm-hmm.
Scaries, my friend Joyce Pickens, who is an interior designer.
Shouts.
She's like, that's the best way to like elevate a space
Mm-hmm.
is to like change from like the cheap, like brushed metal,
Yeah.
like cabinet hardware and change the light fixtures and,
Do some work to it.
paint if you want.
I've had that thought. I want to paint an accent wall
Yeah, paint an accent wall.
and just cover it back up before I would move, type of thing.
I mean, you can ask them.
Yeah.
Most of them will want you to repaint it, like probably white.
Yeah. Whatever
Some
their
probably
color
won't
is.
even care. Like,
Yeah, it's technically in my lease that I can't paint walls, but like I feel like you could probably get away with it.
yeah. I mean, if you paint it white again, who's gonna know?
I'm gonna paint the wall that I want to paint.
Do it. When we moved in, and ours is obviously owned by like a guy,
Yeah.
and not like a leasing company. The guy before us had painted, and he was like, "I can paint it back if y'all want," and I was like, "No, I like it."
Yeah,
So
I love it. You know what? Randy's coming over. We're doing some electrical work because I'm putting in track lights above
Yeah.
my dining room table.
Yeah.
I think it'll look pretty cool. But I'm gonna have to drill into the drywall a little bit.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes. Well, that'll do it for the Mail-In podcast. You have fun, Sally?
I had a great time.
Went a little long today too. Shouts.
Sorry.
No, we're good.
Talkative about stretching.
Hit us with a subscribe on iTunes. Give us a rating at 5 stars, ideally. Maybe a review. Tell a friend about the podcast. Hit the hotline number, 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast. Sally, where can the people find you?
Sally deFries on Instagram and Twitter.
Boom. That'll do it. Randy, thank you. We will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.